If you are the scapegoat in a narcissistic family, healing looks different for you than it does for most people. Because you're not just healing from specific events, you're unlearning an entire identity that someone else built for you without your consent, and then they called it the truth. Most people think healing means getting over it, moving on, forgiving and forgetting. But for the scapegoat, healing isn't about getting over anything. It's about getting to the truth. The truth that you were not the problem, that the role that you were given was never about who you actually are. It was about what the family needed someone to be. And you were chosen, not because you were weak or because there was anything wrong with you, but because you were the one least willing to pretend. And before any other healing can happen, the truth has to land. Really land. Not just intellectually, in your body, in the way you talk to yourself, and the standards you hold for how people treat you. Step 1. Stop trying to get the family to see you differently. This is the one that keeps most scapegoats stuck for years. The hope that if you change enough, achieve enough, explain enough, clearly enough, that they will finally see you. It is unlikely to happen, not because you don't deserve it, but because a system built on making you the problem cannot survive if it admits that you were never the problem. Waiting for that acknowledgement is giving people who already took your childhood the rest of your adult life too. Step 2. Grieve the family that you deserved but didn't have. This is the part most people skip because it's painful. But you cannot heal what you haven't grieved. You needed parents who saw you clearly, protected you, loved you, and made you feel like you belonged. You didn't get that. And that loss is so real. Give yourself permission to be sad about it. Be angry about it. Because grief is not a flaw. It's not weakness. It's what happens when you finally stop pretending that it didn't hurt. Step 3. Start separating their voice from your voice. The scapegoat carries the family's criticism internally. The voice that says you're too much, too sensitive, always the problem. That's not your voice. That's their voice. It got installed early and it runs automatically. Start noticing when that voice shows up, because every time you apologize for something that isn't your fault, or every time you shrink in a room, every time you assume you're the problem, before anyone has even said anything, that is not you. That is them. Still living inside your head rent-free. Step 4. Build relationships that reflect the truth of who you are. Healing does not happen in isolation. It happens in safe relationships. Therapy, communities of people with shared experiences, friendships where you are seen and heard and valued without conditions. These are not luxuries, they're part of the work. You need evidence, real lived evidence that relationships can be different from what you grew up in. Every healthy relationship you allow yourself to be in rewrites a little bit of that original story. Step 5. Regulate your nervous system. A lot of scapegoat healing work is actually the body work, because the wounds aren't just in your thoughts, they're in your nervous system. The freeze when someone raises their voice, the shutdown when conflict arises, the anxiety that lives in your chest even when nothing is wrong. Learning to regulate is not optional, it's the foundation. Because you cannot think your way out of patterns that were wired into your body before you were even old enough to understand what was happening to you. Healing from being the family scapegoat is not a straight line. You will have days where you feel free, and days where one phone call from a family member takes you back to being 10 years old in an instant. And that doesn't mean that you haven't healed. It means that you're human, and it means that the work is ongoing. Not because something is wrong with you, but because Undoing decades of conditioning takes time and it takes compassion for yourself. You were given a role that you never asked for. You carried the weight that was never yours to carry. And the fact that you're here seeking understanding, doing the work, that is proof that the scapegoat label never defined you. It just delayed you, and you're finally catching up now. If step 5 resonated with you, the nervous system piece, I have a free emotional reset guide in the description that gives you practical tools to start calming your body after it gets activated. It's a good first step. And if you want scripts for the specific moments that trigger you, like conversations with family, setting boundaries, responding when someone blames you, the freeze response recovery kit is also linked below. Subscribe for more videos about healing from toxic family dynamics and building healthy relationships. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.